trading live on the UK 100 and the GBP USD. I am looking for an entry if price breaks this area here. So we'll just see how this one plays out. What I needed to do is break to the upside. Just like that. But I'm not going to rush entry because market is about to open. So if this continues to go up, I will enter. If it stays down, then obviously no. Let me just clean this up a bit. Get rid of these. Okay, that's looking more promising. Right, I'll get in there. Unfortunately, the spread is huge, so I do have to be very careful. It's larger than usual. It's about 2.05 pips. Usually it's a lot tighter than that. But we'll just put that into account. Okay, so we're still at around 25% of the move just because of where we're at. Just because of the spread. I am looking to scale once I reach this level here. I'll just show you some areas of interest on the M30 time frame. We're actually dancing on one right now. It's not the high of the day, but it's still a significant area. So this is the high of the day, which is super high. Plenty of room there. This is the middle of the, let's say a lower high. And we'll just see how market plays out. So okay, already we're in quite a lot of profit, which is good. It is moving a lot faster than I'd like it to. I'm just gonna zoom in. I'm gonna close this trade if it pulls back to entry. So it's a lot tighter now. The spread is at 0.85, which is a lot better. Recent major news earlier on, about an hour ago, was retail sales. That's pushed price up quite a bit. Expecting the momentum to be a lot better. But we'll see how this open plays out. Just getting ready to pull that trigger. While I'm waiting, I'm just going to pop this out. Okay, so market open looks like it's settling quite a bit. That's a good thing that it's settling there. Looking at about 1.8. Spread tightening. So at this point, I want to get out at break even. If this goes back to break even, I will close this trade. And if this price breaks above here or creates a new K3, then I will scale. But just given how close it is to this, I'd I'm actually aiming more for this here, so might just trigger it with a different color so you can see. Make it fatter. I'd want to see a break of structure above that. Maybe even a pullback on this, just because this is an M30 resistance. Expecting a lot more orders, so I'm gonna actually set the stop loss at break even. I just don't want this to flash return back. That's really annoying with the C Trader. This trend line is absolutely bugging me. It's just like hard to access. And when you're trading like this, you just, anyway, set that aside. Moving on, that could be a new K3. Price could consolidate around here. I'm already at break even, so I'm not too stressed about this trade. We'll just see what happens in a moment. So I'm looking at UK 100 right now. I do have interest in a GBP USD move as well, but just because I'm in this, I'm going to put my attention and my focus here. Okay, so excellent. We get to move that up. If price crosses here, we'd be looking at something there. But I would need more confirmation. So I'll just use this. All right. So this M30 resistance is actually quite significant. It's pulling back the price quite a bit. It's good to see the spread tighten. It's a lot better than before. It was like double that. This pullback bar isn't looking the best, but I'm gonna tighten this. And if it crosses this, I'm looking at exits around here. So I'll just move this up, but I need that to cross first. That'll be my 2-bar break cross. This looks like a scale entry here, just because, okay, it's crossed it. So far, if we get moves 1.8 pips beyond that, I'd be looking to close above here. I need to close below there, but I've already got my break-even stop loss placed, so we're looking good. So on the M5, this is actually hitting that mark super clean. Like, it's hitting the M30 resistance quite a lot. It's reacting to it quite a bit. I might look into just entering at a break of structure. It might dance around a bit. We'll just see how that plays out. I'm leaving my 2-bar break there because that's the furthest in to the profit that's actually had a breach. So I wouldn't be moving it to this one because that's closer to my entry. I want to track the break that is furthest from my entry. So this is the furthest low to my entry. That's part of that 2-bar break move. And this is looking more promising with buyers coming back in. I would like to enter into this, just depending on how much or how far this closes beyond that. But I'm just going to wait until I see a close. SMAs are moving in the right direction as we want them to. That's exactly the type of behavior we want. What I don't want is this candle exhausting back before this minute close, just because again it's touching this level. If it wasn't there, obviously happy days, because the next one is there, which is the high of the day. So you still do have to be careful in this territory. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'm just going to enter in a few trades there. I'll scale in. Get ready to close if it pulls back aggressively. Okay. Still in pretty good hands. Doesn't seem to be flattening on the SMA. Is slow. Tends to be. That has pulled back quite a bit. Just see how this candle plays out. Moving this up. As I said, so this was further than the previous point. And as I said, it was dancing quite a bit after that entry. That was a bit of an exhaustion. I did enter in a little bit too early, but we'll see how this plays out. At this stage, I would break even with my scales. I'm going to be pretty aggressive with the stop here because this is the high of the day. If it breaks, but on my M30 time frame, that price has held quite a lot. I'm going to tighten this again. This is further in. Short-term moving average is starting to tighten. I might be super aggressive with this and close. Okay, on the M5 time frame, we're doing pretty well as well. Back to break even. $983.80. So I'm just gonna put my stop losses there. My scales will be at break even I wouldn't be interested in holding on to them any longer. This is moving quite well in the direction I needed to. I'm going to graduate this here, not too close to the positions. The moving averages are looking really good. So let me just hide this one. Moving averages are looking pretty good. I'm going to graduate this here, so it becomes super tight now. If it crosses that point, I'd be tightening to up here, so 983.60, around there. This just lets me follow the momentum of the trade. I am trading on the 1 minute time frame. Not a lot of people like trading on this time frame. I do, just because it's in and out. Okay, we've got a breach. So give this 20 seconds. If it has the right momentum, it'll just keep going. If it doesn't, it does things like this. Sometimes it does a little bit more dancing at that point where I scaled around here, this blue line. But this time around, it hasn't danced as much. 1.8, the exact area would be around that 200 mark. So if price closes below that, it's next to my break even anyway. I'd say if price moves negatively, or not negatively, if price moves in that direction, I'm gonna start thinking about exiting. But if it has the momentum, it'll go all the way. It should. Okay. Excellent. So I'm not going to graduate that. That's furthest in as a proper 2-bar break. That one pulls back. By this point, if price aggressively dives back, you just want to be ready for it. You really don't know what's going to happen with price. It's best to just keep it focused. You want to try and capture 60 to 70% of the move. Even that's, that's already really good. At times you might want to play more aggressive and push yourself to try and capture a little bit more, but a lot of the times you'll just find if you're trying to do that, what ends up happening is you don't really capture that much and it's not really worth the effort. You might be holding on to the trade for 2 hours, which is probably going to be 8 times longer than I'd expect to hold it. So I've entered in from here. It's been roughly 20 minutes now. I'm going to graduate this at this point here. That's a new K3. So if price goes beneath that, I wouldn't be interested. And I'm making that call just because of where we're at. Like zooming out, if you don't look at the leaves of the forest, we've just crossed 3 resistance levels. Usually that means, hooray, you're not likely to get a reaction. But it's also the 1 minute time frame. It could just be orders waiting to be triggered. We're about 17 minutes in since market open. It could be a significant flash move to the downside. you just really never know with these things, and it's better to prepare how you trade over guessing a lot of these things. Trading is a lot about preparing scenarios. So if this hits, I will be a lot more aggressive with my stops. Noting this here. If this gets compromised, I'd be watching that level. It's about to touch the high of the day. This is where things are going to get very interesting. If it breaks through and there's 0 orders there, just because price has reacted to this twice, if there's no more orders, this will fly. This would just fly through. That's my if-then scenario. I'm not going to predict anything. I'm not going to think about what the market could do or what it won't. Sorry, I'm not going to think about what the market will do or won't do. I'm going to think about what the market is doing one candle at a time. That's really your job as a trader, is to think about what the market is doing one candle at a time. Once you master that, that's pretty much it. Okay, I'm graduating this here. Price has touched that level. Immediately you see the first bear or short candle out of a row of bullish candles. The SMA is surprisingly really good. That's not slowing at all. It is beginning to veer, but it's still looking strong. I could get a super fast reaction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten it close to the SMA level. I want to lock in profits. If it keeps going, it keeps going. If it doesn't, I've got a safety net. What I'd like to do, once price touches this is a clear touch. Before it was a touch, but this is now actually at the level. If it creates a K3 low, so there you go. I'm graduating this. If it creates a new K3, that becomes my new stop level. I don't do this 2-bar break anymore, just because this is a line that is very significant. If it breaks this, whatever the high is, 1.8 plus that is my tolerance. If this becomes a new K3, that's where I'm just going to immediately tighten it at. Okay, it's breaching it. What does the low of that candle look like? And it goes back up, then, hey man, I'm all for it. Okay, so slightly lower than I anticipated. Okay, okay, so if it touches this level, if it closes below that, I'm virtually out. Noting how this is becoming interesting, right? If another candle closes here, this becomes my new K3. So if it closes above here, this becomes the K3. But if this continues to make new lows, so far it's made 2 lower lows. Got 20 seconds. It's also reaching the 0 point. The 0. So this is reaching the top of the M30 impulse move. You got to keep that in mind. If price doesn't want to go beyond it, it just won't. That's looking like a pretty strong long candle though. This becomes my new K3 if price commits to this. Just give me 1 second. So if price closes here, this becomes my new K3. I am just gonna make that call now. Reason why I'm making that call now is because we are at that level again. And sometimes it just takes a while for the short orders to come through and they will just plunge. But if you look at the M5 candle, this is straight, huge long candles after long candles. Okay, so that becomes my new K3. If price goes lower than this, I'm not interested. Like, I'll give it a bit of space to breathe. But if I get a massive bear candle, like what it's doing now, and it commits as a long bear candle, I'm not interested. It's getting closer to the short-term moving average that I've set. Usually when momentum is dying, it'll just be very close to it. But just look at how good these moving averages look. That's what you want it to look like. This closes above 10 seconds more. I am graduating this yellow line. Hey, power to this move. If it keeps going, power to it. I'm not hating. Okay. If it makes a new K3, I will tighten again. This is the high of the day, okay? Remember, this is the high of the day. I'm gonna flash to the M30 and flash back, and I'll show you what I mean. This is the high of the day. This level has been respected twice, well, 3 times if you call that, but twice. If this breaks through, it is quite a significant breakthrough. On the M5, as I told you, we've just got massive buy candles. I'm going to go back to the M1. We're seeing more buying commitment. Price may start to consolidate. You're starting to see this SMA start to flatten. If it just keeps shooting up, okay. So this might breach, and if it breaches, again, you want to capture 60-70% of the move. If it does this, you might get points for hanging on. I'm gonna tighten. I'll wait till it closes. If it stops me out, it stops me out. But I'll wait till it closes and then I'll tighten because that'll be no. Okay, so it stops me out. Okay, so I'll just walk you through this. I could hold on a bit longer, and look. For all I know, it could just break through that level big time. But the reason why I've stepped out is because, one, there's a higher probability of this price just dancing around there. We're about 30 minutes in the market open and price could have already lost momentum. We've already closed below the short-term moving average and it's starting to flatten. And this is the high of the day. So with all of those elements, I'm not saying those are the only important elements. As I said, this could just keep going all the way through. I'm quite confident that I've caught majority of this move. And what I mean by like 60% of the move, I'll just show you. So I entered here. And if you look at this as a leg, that becomes the full extent of the move. Obviously, this could keep going. This could keep going all the way through. But if it starts to consolidate here and starts to pull back, then I've already caught majority of the move. And holding it any longer means I spend more time on it, I stress out a bit more, and there's just way more elements to consider. And from looking at this, what I found is I've gotten what I want actually out of this trade. And for me, hanging on to this trade any longer isn't as worth the risk. So that's it. That's how you make a trade. I'll give you the figures. So I risked about, with that huge, that was such a massive spread. I'll just give you my numbers. So I risked about, and it's actually not bad. So I made about 7R today, which is pretty good considering where we're at. But as you can see, price is starting to consolidate. 12 minutes, it's spent 12 minutes. I'd want it to move more. It's spent 12 minutes here. It's probably likely to consolidate for the next half hour. Generally, prices start to die down. There's probably going to be a new fresh wave after that, a fresh wave of buying, because that's where price is looking like where it was going when the retail sales month on month came out. They actually looked more positive, so that's probably why the buyers are in now. Everyone is probably bullish on the UK market and equities. But as you can see, even if I did hang on there, this is already 5 minutes of my time just not getting that much value out of this move. And 5 minutes of my time, a lot of people go, it's just 5 minutes, why don't you just hang on? It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. You could use that 5 minutes to do something else. I'm using this time to go through it with you, so that's already value. But as you can see, it's closed beyond that. The SMA is starting to look a lot flatter and worse. It's probably going to move down here. So I'm going to go back to doing this. I'll show you. Majority of these moves tend to pull back at around, Traders really got to do a better job at this, seriously. It's probably going to be around here. It's probably going to pull back around here. I've already caught that. That's probably about 90% of the move. 60 to 70 conservative, but most cases I capture around 80 to 90. This is probably going to pull back around this level, which is around the 38.2%. Obviously, it could go back further, but I've already got what I needed out of this move. So we'll leave it at that. That's UK 100. That's a 7-hour trade today. So I'm very happy with that. See you next time. Okay, so we'll just close up UK 100, 7-hour trade today. As you can see, as I was saying, it might pull back here, and it is doing that right now. I'll just show you the 38.2%. It would probably pull back at around here. It's already starting to pull back at around 25% of the move, so we've caught a decent amount of the move, about 80% of the move, which is what you want. And the rest is probably just going to consolidate. So that's a wrap.